I just have a question about this weight of capital that we're seeing, from new sources, the sovereign wealth funds, the Middle East, Asia. And Tim mentioned the fact that there's yield compression taking place in the secondary market already. Okay. Well, that was my question. Yeah, how fast are those yields compressing? What are we seeing, and what are the lowest yields that we've seen so far?
Well, perhaps the lowest yields, I'll hand over to the agent.
Matthias.
Yes. The question is, yes, we have that international money from all over the world, but if you ask me who's paying the craziest prices, the sharpest prices, I still see more the Deutsche Versorgungskammern who pay the prices because they can act much quicker than foreigners. They know the market and they do a due diligence within 2 weeks. And that's not possible for a Chinese company because they have to bring over the whole structure of decision makers until they can make a decision. And the final decision is doing the president in that company. But the due diligence runs, let's say, 4 to 6 weeks, and just after it, the real decision is done. So the risk for a vendor is quite high that his transaction will fail with an international investor. That's still a point. Of course, we try to figure out how good these companies are prepared into Germany, who are the partners. Very often we see real estate investment managers, local ones who are doing the deals, but the price, the yield drivers still are Germans. That's one clear point. I think you agree?
I would agree with that. I think, to interrupt, what we've seen is that there is international capital there, but it's a really small part of the overall capital base. Germany is very, very liquid. And in the office market, the German institutional funds, a couple of the open-ended funds are still there, the big ones, but the pension funds, the occupational pension funds, the Versorgungswerke, the insurance companies, they can all invest up to 100, 150 million in a single transaction. And that part of the market, I would say, is essentially tied up by that investor base and by that capital base. If you go beyond that and you're getting up to asset sizes of 500 million, that's where the international player comes in, because the German market is quite thin. Okay, an Allianz could do a deal of that size, but beyond that, there's not really that many players.
But if you say Allianz, that's an interesting example. Allianz has made a big transaction, 250 million last year, but it was backed by the French Allianz capital. So it is an international investor acting via a German partner, but in the end it's international money. And the top 10 deals, I think 80% of it were done by internationals. And then I talk about 100 million plus.